Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing great. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I have created bunch of playlists for various categories of problems such as breadth first search, dynamic programming, depth first search, trees, graphs, binary search and so on. So please make sure to check them out. I have uploaded the code for this problem to GitHub. You can get the link from description below this video. Let's jump into today's problem. Complete binary tree inserter. A complete binary tree is a binary tree in which every level except possibly the last is completely filled and all nodes are as far left as possible. Write data structure CBT inserter that is initialized with complete binary tree and supports the following operations. So we have to write a data structure called CBT inserter which will be initialized with a complete binary tree. We will go look more and try to understand what is a complete binary tree in a bit, but let's look at the operations that we need to support. CBT inserter, tree node root, initializes the data structure on a given tree with head node root. CBT inserter dot insert v int v will insert a tree node into the tree with value node dot value is equal to v, so that tree remains complete and returns the value of the parent of the inserted tree node. So when you insert, it should return the value of the parent essentially. And CBT insert dot get root will return the head of the node of the tree, basically head node of the tree, nothing but the root node of the tree, right? So those are the three operations that we need to support. So let's go ahead and understand what actually is a complete binary trees. So it said every level should be completely filled except the last is completely filled, right? Except the last. And even in the last, all the nodes should be as far left as possible. So I have a rough diagram for a complete binary tree. So I have like around 15 nodes in this binary tree. So in each level, I have all the required number of nodes present. For example, level 1, right? Sorry, we will call it level 0, right? Level 0. Right, level 0, there is maximum possible nodes is 1 because there is only one root node in a binary tree. And in the level 2, how many level 1, how many nodes we can have? 2, and two nodes are present, 2 and 3. And in level 2, how many nodes possible? Maximum, it's 4 nodes, right? 4 nodes possible. So 4, 5, 6, 7. And in the level 3, right, level 3, how many nodes possible? Maximum 8. So in this particular example, I have all the levels filled with all the nodes, right? So this is called as a complete binary tree. This is one example, but this is a valid case. But let's say for example, right, if you don't have 15, let me ignore for this for a second, right? So let's say this is not there. Even this also is called a complete binary tree because all the levels except the last one. So these 3 levels are completely filled and the last level is partially filled, but all the nodes are as far left as possible, right? So all the nodes are as far left as possible. So the next insertion happens at where? At the 15, right? Right, that is where it's possible. Let's say if you are given with a tree something like this. So I am removing 12 here. So that means 6 has left child as empty and 6 has right child. This is not called as a complete binary tree because even though the first condition, like all the levels except the last level have all the nodes. So the first 3 levels have all the nodes, but in the last level the nodes are not as far left as possible because there is one empty space here, right? where 12 was supposed to be there, right? But that is empty right now. That's the reason why we will not call this particular tree as a complete binary tree. Let me go back. Yes, so this will be a complete binary tree now. So now that we know what is a complete binary tree, just to recap, all the levels except the last level should be completely filled. That means each level has some number of nodes, right? Zeroth level has 1 node, first level has 2 nodes, next level has 4, and next level has 8, and next level has 16, so on, right? So likewise, all the number of nodes should be present on the all levels except the last one. In the last one, even if they are partially filled, it is fine. If it is completely filled, then we are good. Still, it is called as a completely binary tree, but the last level can be partial. The only requirement is all the nodes should be as far left as possible, as we saw the example, right? So now, coming to the operations. So CBT inserter, we are passed with a tree node, root node of the binary tree. So what we are given is this binary tree is also a complete binary tree. That's what is given. So we are initialized with a complete binary tree. So while we insert, that means we insert into this binary tree, we have to preserve the completeness of the binary tree, right? So that means when we are going to insert, we need to first identify what is the first place that we can insert, right? What is the first place that we can insert? Let's say this is the binary tree that we are given with in the constructor. That means it has 15 nodes. So what is the first possible place that we can insert the next value? At 8. And even to 8, what is the first thing that we have to insert? Left child. So that is the first place, right? So if I can get here, right? So if I have to insert, let's say 16, so 16 goes here, right? 16 should go here to preserve the completeness of the binary tree. So even this is also a complete binary tree, because these 4 levels are full and there is only just one node available in the last level, and it is as far left as possible, right? But if we were to insert 17 after this, right, the next insertion position is actually the right subtree of 8, which is 17 here, right? So that we will still preserve. For example, if we go and insert as left child of 9, let's say, for example, right, we are violating the completeness of the binary tree. So this will not be called as complete binary tree. So that is what we need to make sure. So the thing that we need to identify is, when we are trying to insert, what is the position that we can insert into the binary tree, into the last level, right, into the last level, so that we will preserve the completeness of the binary tree. So that is our task. So that is our task for insert operation. So for initialization operation, it's pretty easy. And for getting the root, when we are passed with the root, we can store that root in another variable and keep it in that variable and return whenever you are asked to get root. So this is also simple operation, right? So the thing is, we need to work out through these two methods. When we initialize with the binary tree, what we should do, and when we insert into the binary tree, what we should do in order to preserve the completeness of the binary tree, right? So for preserving completeness of the binary tree, we need to identify which node we can insert, right? Which node we can insert as the left subtree or right subtree, whatever that is, right? So that is what is the task that we are going to do. Going on further with my explanation. So we need to have a position for the insertion of the new node into the tree. So that we are going to find out. And now new node is where the node doesn't have a left child or a right child, or not having both childs, right? So it could be any of them. First, check if you can find, let's say, let me go back to this, right, 16. So now Now you need to find a node which doesn't have left child or right child or both childs. So for this case, the both child case fits, right? Because all other nodes except the last level have all the nodes already filled, right? 2 has left and right, 3 has left and right, 1 also has left and right. So 8, 9, 11, 10, 11, 12 until 14, they don't have any left or right. So from this, you need to choose one of them so that you preserve the completeness of the binary tree. Obviously, it is 8, right? So basically, this follows the breadth first search, right? So we are going to use breadth first search to find out what is the next position where we can insert a new node. So we will use a breadth first search, right? So that's what we are going to use. So the thing to choose a node is it should not have left child, right child or both child, right? So whatever the first position that we can choose, that is the position where we can insert into the node. And while we go through the nodes, right, we will keep track of them into the breadth first search queue. So normally breadth first search uses a queue data structure to keep track of what nodes it has to visit next, right? As and when we create new nodes, we will put the newly created nodes back into the queue so that we will use them as the next possible positions to insert next upcoming new nodes, right? Because why are we inserting these new nodes into a queue? Because they don't have any left and right subtrees, right? When we insert a brand new node into a tree, it doesn't have left and right subtree, it just has its value. That's the reason why we put back them into the queue. So there is a little bit of modification of the breadth first search that we are going to see here. So normally in the breadth first search, we put a node into the queue, and if there are left and right subtrees available, we put them back into the queue again and we dequeue the earlier node. We continue that until further, right? But here we are going to do a little bit modification of the breadth first search. So we will go look into the code what that modification we are going to use, right? So the overall idea that we are going to use is find out a position where we are going to insert through breadth first search mechanism, right? Let's go ahead and look into the code. So our aim is to implement these three operations, right? So I have created a tree node, tr root and initialized to null, and a current node initialized to null, and a queue initialized to null. So current node, this will keep track insertion position for new data, okay, when it is called this one cbt insert, right? Let me paste that also here, it makes clear. So this will keep track of the node where we are going to insert, okay. Next, so the constructor, we are passed with a root node of the binary tree. So now instead of postponing the insertion position till the time of the insert call, what I am doing here is in the constructor itself I am trying to find out what is the current node, right? In the constructor itself I am trying to fill what the current node is. I am not waiting for insert call. So that's what the processing I am doing here. So I am assigning the root node to the root I am initialized here, and I initialize a new boolean variable cur node found or not. That cur node is where we are going to insert the upcoming new insertions, right, when this insert function is called. And I have created a local queue here. This is just local to this particular constructor, and into the local queue I inserted root, right, whatever the root node passed. And now I go through the tree to find out what is my next insertion position, right? So this is where we are going to use breadth first search, and there is a little slight modification here. Okay. So now, while local count q, local q is count is greater than 0, not equal to 0, greater than 0 basically. In that case, what we are going to do is dequeue the node, and if the current node is not found and whether left subtree is 0 or right subtree is null or left subtree is null, right, we want that as the candidate. We are saying, okay, current node is the one which we can use now, and current node found is true. That's what we are going to initialize. And if the R has a left or R has a right, we are going to put that into the queue back, right? And once the current node is found, right, we maintain yet another queue. This queue will keep track of the all future insert positions, right? Node positions, insert node positions, I would say. This will keep track of the all future insert node positions. If this will be done only if the current node is found, right? Otherwise, we don't have to do this. So this is a slight modification for the breadth first search. So normally in the breadth first search, you just use one queue and get away with it. But here we want to keep track of all the future insert positions, right? That's why I am putting yet another queue. This is the queue. I am calling this as queue as opposed to the local queue. That is the difference. Okay. So this queue, I will keep track all the future node insert positions. So this while loop will be executed till the end of the passed tree. Okay. So that is how the constructor going to be executed. And next, jumping to the next operation. So if you have noticed, I am assigning the root node to the tr root. So whenever get root is called, I will just simply return the tr root. I don't do anything else. Whenever get root is called, just simply return tr root. Whatever it is there, it will return. So now going to the last method, that is insert method. So we have already identified the insert method, current node where we are going to insert, right? So now check if the current node dot left is it null, right? If the current node dot left is null, if so, that means we have to insert at the left position, leftmost position. So we are inserting at the leftmost position and inserting that into the queue, because that whatever we inserted newly will have to be used in future, right? We just insert into the queue, and as part of the insert operation, we need to return the parent value, right? Return the current node value, right? This is when the left pointer is null. But for example, if the left pointer is already not null, let's go back to this one, right? So if this is there 16 and we are trying to insert 17, right? So here obviously the current node will be 8. So for 8, the left pointer is already has some data, it's not null. So now the next position is right pointer, right? So that's what it is. If not equal to null, then we go insert into the right pointer and return the current node value and put into the queue basically, right? So we insert here, right? We insert here as 17, right? And put 17 into the queue, right? For the next processing. But what if this is not equal to null and this is not equal to null? That means whatever the current node that we are left with is already filled. His left and right positions are already filled. We need a new current node. What we are going to do is just get a new node, dequeue from the new node queue and call it as current and call the insert again, right? Call the insert again, the same thing, insert again. So now let's say go back to 17. Now current node is pointing to 8 still, right? Now let's say insert 18, right? Insert 18. So in this case current node is pointing to 8, but 8 has 16 and 17 already filled. So now we are going to do is get a node from Q. So Q after 8 it will be 9, because we are doing the breadth first search, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those are all put into our queue anyway. So now 9 will be picked from the queue. Current node becomes 9. And after this, what we are doing essentially is trying to use the current node and insert V. So it will be called again. Now current node is pointing to 9, right? So its left is obviously null. So you just insert at that particular time, right? So that's how we are doing the insert operation. So this is how the 3 operations for this particular problem are implemented. So let's go ahead and look at the time complexity and space complexity for each of these methods, right? So since these 3 operations are different, we have to calculate the time complexity and space complexity differently. Okay. So get root, I am going from easy to hard ones. Okay. So get root, the time complexity, we are simply returning the tr root, whatever it is there, right? So the time complexity for this is order of 1. We are not doing any processing here. And space complexity is also order of 1. We are not doing anything, right? Order of 1 and order of 1. That means constant time. So get root is a function of constant time and constant space. So let's go ahead and look at the insert. Time and space. So time, we are checking whether the current node left is null or right is null. If current node left is null or right is null, we are then and there trying to insert, right, and putting into the queue and returning the current node value, right? So this is also pretty simple operations. So we can say the operations here also constant time, and even if it is right subtree also, it is constant time. So otherwise what we are doing is getting the node from queue and calling the insert again. So all these are irrespective of the number of nodes that are given or at what position that you are inserting, these operations are done in the constant time. So we will say order of 1, right? Order of 1. And space, are we using any extra space here? There is one space that we are using, right? We are creating a tree node, right? So the space for the tree node is being used here. So space needed is space for a tree node, because we need to insert into the binary tree, right? So since we don't know how much space is needed for a tree node, I am just calling it as space required is space for the tree node, right? New tree node. Okay. It depends on the language, of course. And let's go back to the constructor. What is the time complexity? What is the space complexity for this, right? Okay. So time complexity, we are going through the entire tree. So let's say if there are n nodes in the initialized binary tree, right? N nodes in the initialized binary tree, right? Then what we are going to have is order of n time complexity, right? Order of n is the time complexity. What is the space complexity? We are using 2 queues. One is this queue and one is this queue, right? So this queue, all the queues, either this or this, both queues, they are not a permanent storage. Nodes will be coming into the queue and going out of the queue, right? So at a given time, the number of nodes in the queue are equal to the maximum number of nodes in a given level, right? So let's say H is the final level in the tree, right? H is the final level in the tree. So in that case, the number of nodes are 2 power h, okay? 2 power h. H is the final level. So we will say order of 2 power h is the space required for constructor, Okay, so those are the time and space complexities for each of these methods. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below this video. I have posted this code to the GitHub repository. You can find the link in the description below this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and share among your friends. Please click on the bell icon so that you will be notified about my future videos. Thank you for watching. I will be back with another problem very soon. Till then, stay safe. Goodbye.